In the quaint, close-knit town of Maplewood, where everyone seemed to know one another, James Carter was a familiar face. He was a kind-hearted man in his late 60s, whose life had revolved around fixing cars in his small garage. James had spent decades honing his skills as a mechanic, working tirelessly to make ends meet. His hands were calloused and stained with grease, a testament to years of labor. But beneath the surface, James harbored dreams that stretched far beyond his modest existence. Cars represented more than mere machines to him. They were symbols of freedom, adventure, and the promise of a better life. For years, James had aspired to own his own car dealership. It was a dream that flickered like a distant star, always out of reach. He longed for the day when he could walk into a dealership as the owner, not just a customer. However, the reality of his modest means and the biases he faced due to his age and race often overshadowed this dream. The world had a way of underestimating him, and he had grown accustomed to being overlooked. One sunny afternoon, buoyed by a sense of determination, James decided to take a bold step. After years of saving every penny he could muster, he was finally ready to purchase a brand new car, a stunning red sedan that had captured his heart. With excitement coursing through him, he made his way to a bustling car dealership in the nearby city. The dealership was alive with energy, filled with salespeople in sharp suits and potential buyers excitedly discussing their new purchases. As James entered the dealership, he felt a mix of excitement and anxiety. He stood by the entrance, quietly admiring the gleaming cars lined up before him. His plaid shirt and faded jeans contrasted sharply with the polished professionalism surrounding him. Despite the thrill of being in a place he had long dreamed of, he felt invisible. No one approached him. Instead, salesmen brushed past him as if he were a mere ghost. Some glanced at him, but quickly turned away, dismissing him without a second thought. Minutes turned into what felt like hours. James stood there, heart pounding, hoping someone would take notice. Finally, gathering his courage, he approached a salesman named Eric. "Excuse me," James said, his voice steady but tinged with hope. "I'd like to see that red sedan over there. I'm ready to buy it today." Eric's smile faltered as he looked James up and down, his expression shifting from curiosity to condescension. "That car is quite expensive," he said, a hint of disdain in his voice. "Are you sure it's within your budget? Perhaps you should consider something more affordable." The words hit James like a punch to the gut. He had worked hard, saved every penny, and yet here he was, being treated like he didn't belong. "I've saved enough," he replied, trying to keep his composure. "I'd like to test drive it, if possible." With a roll of his eyes, Eric called over a junior salesman to handle James, who was met with the same dismissive attitude. The junior salesman rushed through the test drive, barely answering James's questions as they sped around the block. Each minute felt like an eternity, amplifying James's feelings of humiliation and frustration. But despite the indignities, he remained poised and patient. After the lackluster experience, James left the dealership that day without purchasing the car, his heart heavy with disappointment. As he drove home, he couldn't shake the feeling of being belittled and overlooked. The weight of the day hung heavily on his shoulders, but little did he know, this was just the beginning of a transformative journey. That evening, James shared his experience with his granddaughter Lisa, a passionate and determined young lawyer. When she heard how her grandfather had been treated, her eyes widened in disbelief. "Grandpa, you deserve so much better. How could they treat you that way?" Fueled by a sense of justice, Lisa took it upon herself to investigate the dealership further. She discovered that the owner, Mr. Turner, was struggling financially and was planning to sell the dealership. In a moment of inspiration, Lisa turned to James with a bold idea. "What if you bought the dealership? You've been fixing cars your whole life. This is your chance." At first, James laughed, the idea seeming absurd. "Lisa, that's a big dream. I'm just a mechanic. How could I possibly own a dealership?" But Lisa wouldn't let go of the dream that quickly. she believed in her grandfather's skills and resilience. With her help, James connected with a local bank to secure a loan, using his garage and land as collateral. He was nervous, but Lisa's confidence fueled his determination. As they sat together, plotting the course ahead, James felt a flicker of hope igniting within him. 2 months later, James found himself standing at the entrance of the same dealership, not as a customer, but as its new owner. The shock on the staff's faces was palpable when he walked in. Eric, the dismissive salesman, stared in disbelief. "Mr. Carter," he stammered, unable to comprehend the transformation. "That's right," James replied, his voice steady and firm. "I'm the new owner. From now on, every customer who walks in here will be treated with respect, no matter who they are or where they come from." James didn't fire anyone on the spot, but he made it clear that he had high expectations. He implemented training programs focused on respect and customer service, ensuring that every employee understood the importance of treating every customer with kindness. He also prioritized hiring individuals from the local community, including young men and women who had struggled to find employment elsewhere. As time passed, the dealership underwent a remarkable transformation. It quickly gained a reputation for its fairness and welcoming atmosphere. Customers loved the change, and sales began to soar. James became known as the kind-hearted dealership owner who had turned his life around through hard work and determination. One day, a young man walked into the dealership, dressed simply, much like James had been on his first visit. The staff greeted him warmly, showing him every car with patience and respect. James watched from his office, a smile spreading across his face. He had come full circle, and the joy of seeing others treated with dignity filled him with pride. Word of James's inspiring journey spread throughout Maplewood and beyond. Local newspapers hailed him as an example of resilience and transformation. His story became a beacon of hope for many, inspiring people to believe in the power of perseverance. Soon, customers traveled from far and wide to meet the man who had turned his dream into reality. Years later, when James decided to retire, he passed the dealership down to Lisa. She continued to run it with the same values her grandfather had instilled, ensuring that the legacy of kindness and respect lived on. James spent his days back in his garage, fixing cars for fun and sharing his incredible journey with anyone who would listen. James Carter's story became a powerful lesson: never underestimate the impact of hard work, respect, and a little faith. From being an overlooked customer to a proud dealership owner, his journey was a testament to courage, redemption, and the belief that dreams can come true. It was an unexpected twist in the tale of a humble man who defied the odds and inspired countless others. His life was a reminder that true success is measured not just by wealth but by the kindness and respect we show to one another. James Carter had become a symbol of hope, demonstrating that with determination and a little help from loved ones, anyone could rise above their circumstances. And so, the legend of James Carter lived on, motivating new generations to chase their dreams and treat others with respect. His journey was not just a personal victory, it was a story of community, resilience, and the profound impact one person can have in the world.